So the vision is, obviously, let's extend the deck, let's make it safer to get to the pool.
The backyard would be done for about $27,000.
This all got to come down and be done again.
I always take the deal that's too good to be true.
We wanted a safe, larger area.
This was an accident waiting to happen.
It's just been a nightmare since it started.
It sounds too good to be true, and obviously, it's too good to be true. Dan and Sarah purchased this really nice house in an old town that I know very well, as a matter of fact, because I don't live too far from here.
We had bought the house about 2 years ago with the intentions of fixing it up because the backyard was not much to look at.
Thought they'd dress up and extend the deck in the backyard, make more room around the pool.
My fears were for safety, so we needed something that was going to keep the children and other small children away from the pool when we were just in the living room or whatever.
We had met a neighbor, and their deck is gorgeous, and they explained to us that their father had done it for them, and that she could have him come over and take a look at the backyard.
So he came over within a day or two and, you know, took a look around and came and gave us his ideas of what he could do.
His idea seems simple. Extend the deck over the pool area and use retaining walls in several areas to help level out the yard, so there would be more usable space.
We were offered the backyard would be done for about $27,000, which seemed too good to be true, but I always take the deal that's too good to be true.
Oh, boy.
It started going up really quickly.
It started looking
great.
fine,
Yeah.
like, from our eyes.
Yeah.
When the cosmetic parts started up, I just figured, okay, he's gonna get back to that.
Okay, I'm Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Absolute pleasure to meet you, Dan.
I'm Sarah.
Sarah, how are you, my dear?
Good, how are you? And we would say, oh, we just noticed that the railing's kind of dipping. Is that normal? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna fix that.
It looks like people have been drinking all kinds of alcohol because this is not even close to straight.
There's tripping hazards, there's screws sticking up.
You don't use a deck post. This is just a simple deck post here. You don't use it in this. That is one hell of a fall down. If I tackle this right now, I'd go right through it.
Yes.
And that's why we don't ever come out here.
There's no stringer in the middle of the stairs.
So when you walk up them, they dip.
That's new retaining here.
Yep.
That was part of his work.
Yeah, and the retaining wall down below also.
That's part of his work, too?
Yes. But that's held together with rocks and 2 posts that are about a foot in the ground.
Okay.
Gates don't close properly.
If you shake the middle, the gates just pop open. So all the things that started to go wrong, he just stopped coming, just stopped fixing things.
Come on up here. Even though these stairs are all wrong, the gates are all wrong, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I want to talk about the pool.
Okay.
If you're gating off this area, which is great because the kids can't come through the door to get to the pool, but we have a door right there where the kids can easily open, especially as they get older, and work their way and fall into the pool. So this doesn't work. If you notice, this is a very old retaining wall right here.
Yes.
That was supposed to be included, actually, in the 27.
There's no way in hell that's going to happen.
That's why it sounded so amazing to us.
Oh, do you think, why is he not here still, right? Because he's...
It was overwhelming, obviously.
It was too much for you, too much for him, too much for everyone involved. Absolutely too much.
Right.
Yes.
We had only gotten through the deck part and a retaining wall down below before we were $17,000 into it. And I mean, you start doing the math in your head of like, how is this only gonna cost $25,000, $27,000? And it's not gonna add up.
I guarantee that's $200,000.
Oh my gosh.
I guarantee it.
Oh my God, Sarah. I guess I never did my due diligence, which I should have, and which you should when you're about to spend large amounts of money.
So these stairs here are old and existing, yes?
Yes.
Okay, anything over 3 steps requires a handrail. Secondary, these stairs he built, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
What are the height of the stairs,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We've never even used this area because...
Man, you shouldn't use anything, and I wouldn't even be using your pool right now, to be honest with you. Okay. Okay, this is okay. Okay, so This is a new retaining, and it's already pushing forward.
Yes.
There's nothing tying it back into the hill. This will just gather so much water, freeze, push, push, push. Eventually, it's gonna collapse and push its way over. You need to pull the stairs out, you need to dig back, you need a proper tractor in here. So we have structure on the backside that's being held up by
It looks like dirt.
dirt. It's not the way to do it. On the inside here, we actually do have a sonotube that's been poured into the ground.
It's not actually 4 feet into the solid ground. It's just into that loose dirt
Like
there.
a foot or something?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a 6x6 holding 2 cradles. In other words, we have a 2x10, 2x10. It has been notched and compromised. So
It looks like he was gonna notch it in, but
that support's wrong. That support's wrong. This wall is fairly new and before you bought the
Yes.
house.
Yes.
You can see this one here is a new wall. It's already falling over. This stone is actually not designed to go this high. So coming in and seeing all this, I'd say to you, holy cow, you have so much here that needs to be addressed. Don't even think of this deck.
Right.
But you wanted to extend the deck
That's
because
right.
you wanted to get better access to the pool.
to the pool, yes.
Who the hell gave you that type of advice? It's not just a deck. It's retaining walls, it's the pool, it's the whole area. And truthfully, had the contractor, handyman, had it been experienced, he would have explained to the people, don't build a deck. You have a lot more things you need to be doing first.
It was
Yeah,
our
it was
idea,
just
yes.
our idea. We
Okay.
thought it would be nice.
And we're
to
not
have-
contractors.
I'm trying not to stress you out.
No,
I'm trying not to stress you out. Okay.
This weekend, I woke up. I wasn't feeling very well. My face started to become numb, and as the day progressed, it began drooping. We went to the hospital, feared the worst of stroke, illness. When I got to the hospital, they assessed me, and I have Bell's palsy.
Yeah, I'm just stressed out.
I
Don't
know.
don't
No,
accept
I
the
know.
stress from me at this point.
So it's a pinched nerve inside your face that is caused by stress, and it often affects women that have just had a baby or are pregnant as well, with the added stress, and it paralyzes half of your face.
I realized I was kind of stressed out myself, and I think I was passing that along to Sarah, and I was telling myself, relax, Mike, relax. Don't make it more stressful for them. And again, this is broken. So this was done years ago. Somebody's tried to keep somewhat of a bench system because, again, it drops off here. Rule of thumb, anything that drops 2 feet requires a rail. That's more than 2 feet right there.
That was
And-
actually supposed to be part of the
Part of the work.
part of the patio.
It
So
was
he
gonna be
dug
a
the
patio.
hole.
You can't just dig it out. It's got to be supported. Now that would be a retaining wall, right? Like just much like the retaining wall he put in there, that's not going to work.
It's extremely stressful. One, our savings is gone. I don't have a safe place to play with my children.
We're going to rip all this down all the way around, and this is going to be redone. But once again, once it's all down, we're going to start from the back pool corner and work our way this way.
We moved here with the intention that this was our forever home. We were so happy.
It's just, this is not how it was supposed to turn out. I'm at a loss for words. It was supposed to all come together easy, and it's just been a nightmare since it started.
We probably should have got a permit because the inspector would have walked in a long time ago and said, nope.
No.
This is pretty sad. Okay. You got beer?
We need Mike here because it's our last hope. We cannot do this project. We don't even know where to begin.
I know you're gonna love the sight of it just looking at it. Obviously, everything is going. Wait till you see what we gotta do to this
This
place.
is terrible.
Just a little, eh? How do we like our rails?
They're not even all the way into structure. They're just plated on the top.
Not to mention the rail itself, we'll just push over.
Oh, Damon, don't do it.
Well, let's actually get us all on it and we'll just push it. Oh, you guys barely pushed that. 2 or 3 kids running around going against it, they're down there. Now, if Sarah and Dan had called me, I would have told them you can do this in 3 stages. First, fix the pool area and the retaining walls needed there. Next, build retaining walls to hold back all that dirt around the pool, and when those 2 stages are done, build a new deck and take care of any grading in the side yard. That's the difference between a handyman and a professional, because I can tell them, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Save for each one of them. But don't just think you can jump and build a deck like this all for $27,000 and it's going to be right.
So you got a 2-foot sonotube there. You want that at least 4 feet to avoid frost. That is actually not holding up anything, brother.
Let's just start taking it back this way. Then we'll pull the front of it off, and just that way we're nice and safe. Right now, I don't want to compromise us being up there.
Yeah.
If that falls out, we're going down.
Yep.
You can clearly see, Damon, where the old deck meets
Yeah.
the new deck. That's why I just cut it across here. I'll bet you can't pull that off there.
I'll bet you can.
Go ahead.
Could be funny.
Yeah, you're moving the whole thing. Oh, it's not attached to it.
Oh my God!
It's not attached. Never, ever should one floor joist actually be holding it. Now, that's the vertical pull, but you can see it's that joist that's actually holding the deck. It was so simple for this area to fall down, just like the rails. The truth is, if you don't build something right, there's consequences. And unfortunately, the consequences here could have been 40 people on the deck enjoying the new deck had it been finished and ending up down the hill. We've got a double plate here, single plate here, all the floor joists that run across that tie in just to the ground on this side. The problem is there's only 1, 2 screws into this post. 2 screws. That's what I see right now. And if this side goes up and down as easy as we saw that goes up and down nice and easy, that's being held up by that 1 floor joist. This whole section is being held by this piece and 2 screws. That's not good.
Look at this.
Good thing you use truss ties.
Oh my God, that's too funny, buddy.
Seriously.
Got it?
Yep. Watch yourself, guys.
All right.
Hello. Do you believe that? Really? Seriously? Seriously? Seriously?
Sitting on that.
Yeah, we were all
I
on
know.
that.
I know. So imagine, right? This is a very weak point here. The only thing that can hold is the floorboards, which I'm glad he used those floorboards and screwed them down. Johnny.
How you doing, Mike?
Well, that didn't take long. Actually, it took almost 2 years to build, and it took less than 2 hours to actually take down.
It's actually looking better now that you ripped some of it out, to be honest.
Did you do a drawing for me?
I did.
Wow.
I have access from the top to do around the pool,
Okay.
because I got to tear all that retaining wall that's against the birch and against the berm. I have to tear
I
all
can
that
actually
out.
see that. It's right here.
Yes.
You have a tier bank here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 tiers down to this point here.
Yes.
From the pool to the side yard, the property drops about 25 feet. To hold all that earth properly, John's going to build a series of 3 pressure-treated retaining walls, plus an armor stone wall stretching from the back door right around the pool. Once that's done, we can build the new deck. What I want to do with the deck is we're going to rip this all down. I'm going to bring in my steel guys, and we're going to do steel columns, steel frames, and we're going to build a deck that's going to outlast the house.
Great.
Safely, I need you guys in helmets, okay? Anyone on the ground underneath that tree? Anyone up there?
If you're throwing it anywhere else and you throw it against the mud truck.
Gary, how you doing?
Good. Good to see you, David.
Thanks for coming, brother. How you doing?
Oh, hey.
What's your name?
Darren.
Darren, pleased to meet you. Look up, look way up.
That's her.
This is the monster. Now, you can see what they did, eh, Gary? They've actually totally undermined it with the dirt here.
I definitely think you should come down.
There's no way we can keep that apple tree. The root system is undermined, which makes it kind of dangerous, and it'll be in the way of the new deck.
This retaining wall is in pretty bad shape. It's pushing in from the ground behind it. You've got some weird Mickey Mouse brace over there. It's just not gonna work for what John's got to do to this backyard.
We knew that he was in over his head, but he kept saying, no, no, I can do it, I can do it. And we wanted to trust in that. And because we had already spent so much money, we allowed him to keep going.
There was no turning back after that started. It wasn't an option for us.
This thing is coming apart like butter. It's actually crumbling here. And that's not what you want it to do. Think about how much weight that's holding back, or it's supposed to hold back. You're holding back the pool. You're holding back the earth with a retaining wall that's brand new that's doing this right now. We should not be able to move that. It should be all the way into the ground. It should be tied in, lagged back. This whole thing is a bit of a joke. Wow.
Now that the decking is all down, we can move on to our first stage. And it all starts with the pool. We're removing all the flagstone and we'll recycle it for another job. The more I recycle and we reuse, the less that goes to the landfill. We're also cutting out all the rotten wood retainers so that John can start his armor stone wall.
Once we cut all this out, we're gonna tie it into this old rustic wall. We're gonna be eliminating these stairs. We're not gonna need them anymore. One of the other challenges here is the amount we actually have to do to get to where we want to be with interlock. Now you can see DJ's here just ripping up this filter cloth. There's no depth of base that's going to allow drainage. So we're going to excavate that down, get it prepped for concrete, throw our interlock on top.
I didn't want to touch the pool, but we kind of had to. In order to follow John's design, it's interlocking stone around the pool, which means the old capping edge is not good enough for interlocking. That means remove the liner.
So today we're going to drain all the water out. That way we can take the liner out. But then we're going to remove the coping. It's very old, it's plastic, it breaks. We're going to replace it with a single track coping that goes around here. Then this coping will come off, and underneath is a steel wall, so the landscaper can come in and he can put a new coping stone around the outside. So with this old patio coping, we just pop it right off. We're not gonna try and salvage it. It just comes off really easy. We come around with a grinder after, and we'll be able to clean all this up here. And they'll be able to come in with their coping stones after and lay it on top after we get the concrete in.
John needs us to get the gravel in by the end of the day because we're getting concrete poured on Thursday, so we have to have this ready, set to go.
The concrete pad we're pouring will prevent any irregular settling of the paver stone we're putting on top. And with the correct slope, it'll help the water drain away from the pool area.
I'm just pulling it back as they fill it up just to get a rough level. The guys are going around troweling. This is just a rough finish for the pavers and coping stones that go over top of it.
The most important thing right now that we're doing is we're actually grading from the outside of the pool to the inside of the forms. We want to keep the water flowing away from the pool and away from the actual interlock.
Next step is the retaining walls. Starting in the pool area and working our way down, the first and the biggest wall is made of armor stone. Each piece weighs about 500 to 1,000 pounds, and we're estimating we will need more than 35 tons to finish the job. That's a lot of stone.
The nice thing about this is you can see we have them so wide that it's got a nice broad surface. So that way when we lay them down, there's not going to be any sinking. So we can actually put these right on a small aggregate base or soil, and they'll stay the same height all the way along.
You get it close with the machine, and then you can tweak it by hand with the bars or the bucket. And yeah, there's really no easy way to do it.
I knew it was going to look like a big job. Bringing in the armor stone and piling that up to create that retaining wall, it really starts to stand out. You know, the concrete around the pool, removing the pool liner, all the little things that we have to do to set to get to the deck level, to get to the retaining walls that are lower down from the deck. Like, this looks like you've done more than we first originally planned.
We did not. We are actually right on according to plan. We've come up just in layers. You can see where we have all these layers here are all completely level right across. We can build our 6x6 retaining walls on top of that.
And really, this isn't that hard to do. It's a tractor, reshaping and then holding it back in place.
Yeah.
In John's design to clean this up was removing a lot of the downside earth, creating 3 tiers that step up. That extra earth allowed us fill to actually bring up the backyard to give more usable space for the family. Bet you like driving this, just like being a kid again.
It's perfect.
Make it a tractor. Yeah, I feel like I'm on an angle. With all the work we're doing in the backyard, I was trying not to look at the house. The windows were all rotten, and there's another side to this. When you look through a new window to a new backyard, it makes a difference. So when Dom said, I want to change the windows, okay.
We're going to be removing this old wood window because it's been modified previously. So this here shows, it used to be what we call mullion bars, which is a bar going across. They eliminated the bar to get more of a glass area. A common thing, most people like that, understandable. But if you do it right. You don't do a Band-Aid fix. Like, these are just examples. Seams here, glass is so short. Like, there's barely anything holding that glass, which means air can infiltrate through there. As a team, we're gonna remove the glass, make sure the frame's in good condition before we install the window. If that's good, we come in from the window. Ron, you in there?
Yeah.
Wow, looks like a glove.
Oh, beautiful work, Don.
Well, I was worried about coming across the street there, but luckily we had a lot of guys stopping traffic.
I was scared for my life. It was so bad, man. I don't want to do something like that again.
My dream is to have a forever house, a place where we can live and raise our children
safely and just be comfortable.
There's our footings. I love this stuff. We definitely have a lot of people here today, so coordination is key. We're gonna start, Joe, you're gonna be doing the pylons first, vertically for the deck.
That's correct.
The system we're using to support the deck is amazing. Galvanized steel augers are literally screwed into the ground like a corkscrew in a bottle of wine. The more torque we use to screw them in, the more weight each post can carry. Once those are in, the steel decking system sits directly on top. Why weren't we doing this years ago?
Believe it or not, this technology is over 30 years old.
Really?
It is. Old lighthouses used to be done with this more than 30, 50 years.
The earliest case I've heard from is almost 80 years ago on the waterfront in Toronto, actually.
Well, this is dummy proof. If we do this on decks vertically, we're holding up something that'll last forever compared to trying to dig down, do a sonotube, do concrete, the traditional way.
That's right.
So you can keep correcting that till you're what?
I can keep correcting that, depending on the soil, a fair ways down. I like to go at least 2 feet without any correction.
The reason I'm excited is the steel gets turned without digging the earth, and we're back into Mother Nature's natural earth compaction, which is gonna hold it way better than us digging it and trying it the old way. So you just got that to 2,000?
Yep.
And you're happy with that, or are you gonna go deeper?
Nope, that's lots.
2,000 pounds per square inch of torque means that each post will support over 9,000 pounds. And we're putting in 14 posts. So that deck will hold a whole lot of weight, and I gotta tell you, it'll last a lifetime. While the post deck guys finish the deck supports, our guys are starting to build the pressure-treated retaining walls. We lay down a thin bed of stone that we will manipulate to make sure we are level.
Up a touch, great, there. Perfect right there, Carl.
I got a little end cut preservative. Once we cut that pressure treated wood, you lose all the good stuff that they seal into it to make it last long. So we're just gonna seal the ends real quick. Just get it back to snuff and it's gonna be all good to go in the dirt.
To make sure these walls are locked into place, we're using the same technology we used on the deck.
We're installing these screw piles instead of a traditional tie back for the retaining wall. That's what holds the wall back from being pushed out by the soil. Normally you dig it out, you put a 6x6 and you fill it back in, but that's a weak zone. So when we use these screw piles, we're screwing them directly into the undisturbed soil so they have the full retention of the soil. And then we can attach this bracket and cap, becomes an integral part of the retaining wall. It's much stronger, it'll last longer, everything's good. So we put the pile in, line this up with the holes, screw these bolts in, so we have lots of hold-back strength.
I see it. So you're tightening it against the rod, and at the same time, you can adjust the pivot up and down.
Yeah. And then the next row of 6x6s slides in. We're going to lag right down through. And then the next row, again, will be routed a little bit to slip over this. And you're all 100% secure and none of it visible.
This wall will never move. The wood will rot and fall apart before it even thinks about heaving.
Yes.
John's guys are here today to start the interlocking stone around the pool deck. First step is to secure the coping stone at the pool's edge by laying them in a bed of mortar. That keeps them from being knocked into the water, and it'll give it a good solid base to lay the pavers against. For the small retaining wall near the pool, we're using a new system called a tandem wall. It's basically a large stone that holds back the earth and is faced with a thinner veneer that looks like real layered stone.
So the cool thing about this stone is that it has these little notches that slide into the keys on the front of the block. And then how it's notched here, it interlocks all the front faces of this block to give it one consistent look.
That's a nice wall. I really like that. They'll finish the wall by putting on a stone top that matches the coping around the pool.
Anchored down below the frost line, 6 feet into the ground. That gives us our bearing capacity for the deck itself. We set it with the post cap, so it's a direct bearing, and this holds the column of the deck itself.
The aluminum deck posts are cut to length and attached to the post cap and are fully adjustable.
We're lining up all of the columns that are parallel to the side of the house. This is the most visible beam. We want to make sure that it's perfectly straight.
I love this. This is where everyone's gonna say you're overdoing it. You know, everyone says, oh, Mike, he overdoes it. This is crazy. Like engineer, this is beyond any other deck, but I'll say it one more time. It's gonna last forever. It's never gonna rust. It's structurally unbreakable, bulletproof, like you said, and at the same time, it's cheaper than I can build a wooden deck.
That's right, that's right. So this part here, each pen nests into the other, as you can see here. This part here sits on the previous pen, and the next pen will nest onto that.
So as you put up your joist, that you're then covering to create that panel, right? That's how you have it on the end?
Exactly.
I really do love this.
As the work was going on, we did know that it wasn't it wasn't right. And we, you know, things were not being done properly.
We've installed the galvanized steel deck structure. So what we're looking at now is finishing the surface of the deck with a plastic veneer. We lay down some butyl caulking or sealant, which doesn't cure to be rock hard, so it expands and contracts with the deck material itself.
These decking strips lock together and actually look like wood. I like it over a wood deck because you got too many splinters. Think about the kids by the pool and bare feet.
So what we could see is that we've left about an inch of gap between the plastic decking and the edge of the deck. And as the deck expands and contracts with the temperature changes, it'll happen all underneath the bull nose.
The steel deck is coated with zinc, which helps prevent it from rusting. But over time, that zinc will oxidize and eventually disappear. We are attaching aluminum anodes as well. That'll slow down the process and help ensure that the steel never rusts.
We put it in a place that's accessible and visible by the homeowner. So when these actually dissolve, it can be taken apart and reinstalled with the stainless steel bolt that's on there.
I knew we were going to have to use a lot of stone in behind those retaining walls. That's exactly what John is doing. Truckloads of stone is coming in. That's going to act as a filtration. Too many people will backfill this with earth, and one, we're never going to get it to the natural compaction that we need.
No.
Two, the stone is going to allow all the drainage that's necessary to get back to that side, the natural drainage.
Yeah, so we're keeping the drainage along the bottom of the wall. So winter time, instead of having dirt, which is going to be saturated against the wall, it starts to freeze along the face of the wall. That expands, pushes it out, lifts it up. This will dissipate any water. So when it goes to freeze, it'll freeze back here, and then we have a cushion just on the back of that gravel.
Yeah, because we don't want to push that wall out. I mean, that's a heavy, heavy-duty armor stone wall, but you don't want to push it.
Yeah.
So fabric is definitely important for any clean water going through.
That's right.
So we're at the point now with the liner where the guys are just doing the final prep for it. Along with the sweeping, they have also duct taped all the seams in the pool, around the skimmer, around the new coping that we put on so everything's okay, that doesn't protrude through the liner. So this is the new track that we've put in the pool here, this white track. And this is the new coping that's going over top with the mortar joint between. And what it does is it clips right into this track here. And this goes all the way around the pool, as you can see me putting it in here. And what it does, when you put pressure on it, with the water, the weight of the water on it, that clip now holds it into place. So once we get it in place in the deep end here, we're gonna take our two blowers that we have set up. It's actually an air suction. And we slip them in behind the liner, and what that does is it sucks all the air out of the liner, and it helps allow the liner to sit into place like it's actually full of water.
Big day today. We have 4 different types of fence we have to tie in together to make it look really nice and beautiful here. We've got a PT fence, which is a pressure treated fence. We've got chain link fence. We've got wrought iron fences, 5 feet. We've got a beautiful cosmetic fence so we can look through, so we can see the gardening, we can see the beautiful trees in the background. We have screen doors going in, and we have the guys cladding the deck so we can get it done. We're looking really good now.
This is maintenance-free aluminum railings, never paint again. And this product here never needs to be painted. So if it was wood, you can imagine how much maintenance it would be just to keep on painting it every year or sealing it.
The reason why we're installing 2 latches, one on the swinging entrance door here, and one that Ed's doing right now on the storm door, is primarily safety for the children. The door handle that comes here is too easy for the children to reach. So we need bike hold 5 foot off the ground, a lock above and high, so children can't reach it and run to the pool when no one's looking. She shuts. So you have to be a tall child to open that up. Peace of mind, that's all it's about.
Today, we're painting on this parged surface. You can see there's been some repair work. So anytime you're painting on a different substrate, I would recommend talking to your manufacturer or your retailer and find out what products they recommend. So we're using a bonding primer to really promote adhesion to the top coat. Basically what I'm trying to do now is really work the paint into all the little kind of weak areas and really smooth it in, really work it into the parging. Then what I'll do is I'll put one other final coat, just roll over it nice and lightly to give it that smooth, even finish.
Are you excited?
Oh, so excited.
I mean, you got the kids out of school. This has been quite the circus working on your house. And I know you called me in to help you on a deck. And I think we did just a little more than a deck. Just a little more. Actually, just a lot more.
There's been a lot of construction going on here, especially in the front. A lot of storage of materials, trucks coming in and out, deliveries, unbelievable. We got over 70 yards of soil gone into this place. So what I'm doing now is going over the front yard. We're gonna do a combination of sod and spray seed. On all the flat areas, we're gonna be doing sod. On all of the embankments, we're gonna be doing spray seed. That way we don't lose any sod and it doesn't start sliding down the hill over the winter time. One of the big components we've been working on is the grading. I mean, grading is king here. We've been taking a lot of topsoil, getting that down, compacted, graded out so the water flows nicely. We've got about 10 yards of mulch brought into the back. That's all for the garden beds, just to pretty everything up, keep the weeds down, bring a nice vibrant color that contrasts with the stone and the plants. As nice as this job's been coming along, it hasn't been without its hiccups. I mean, we've just been getting pounded by rain. It's just been futile trying to walk anything in there. We've needed track equipment to get into the back. You know, we're at the time of year where we're getting frost in the ground. It's been a big struggle along the way.
From a disastrous deck to an incredible backyard, I want to tell you how much this costs. The deck and railing, the landscaping, including all the materials, the armor stone and lumber, the windows, doors, fencing, the HVAC, the pool liner, the pump, all the hydro seeding, concrete, arborists, comes to a total of $219,600. That's a lot of money. I tried so hard, because one of the first things I said to John, my landscaper, is, are we gonna mess up the front of the property? And he assured me we wouldn't.
Okay.
But we did. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna walk you through the muck, because it doesn't make sense. I'm not gonna walk you around the back. We're gonna go through the house and down the basement door.
Perfect.
Okay?
Sounds great.
And I'll start from there.
Excellent.
Okay.
Come on. I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
It looks kind of good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just kind of good?
You haven't been peeking, right?
No, not at all.
Oh my gosh.
This is Oz.
Oh my god.
A little different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot different.
You end up getting a new air conditioner, and that's simply because our decking bylaws, the way this works, your other air conditioner was kind of old, but it needs to have a certain amount of clearance from an undersiding. If you look up, what do you see?
Metal?
Yeah.
This is about one of the smartest systems I've ever seen. When it comes to engineering a deck that will last a lifetime, that's this. It's not going to rust, it's not going to fall apart. It's actually engineered to about 300 pounds per square foot.
Wow.
We actually screw these bolts into the ground, and that gives us the footings we need. So the load it's going to carry is above and beyond. And it's not about overdoing things, it's about doing them so they last forever. And you don't have to do this again. When we look over in this area here, you can see all the 6x6s. What you don't see is I used the same technology and we went in the ground on an angle. And what that does is hold all these retaining walls back, and they're never going to fall forward. Never.
Thank God.
You ready to see what we've done?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can handle it.
Any questions?
We would have been happy with just this. This is great.
All right, we're done. I gotta go. We didn't do anything else. Actually, we did. You want to see it?
Yes, yes,
After
very
you.
much so.
After you.
Oh my god.
Look at this,
Look
Sarah.
at it. This is amazing. Look at this.
It's so pretty.
Now, you may have to stay in here for a sec.
Oh my God! This is amazing.
Speechless. It's fantastic.
It's unbelievable. I never would have dreamed that we could have a backyard like that. Never.
You got a new liner in your pool.
Wow.
Because we had to, in order to do
Yeah.
a bullnose around the pool with all new stone, which was necessary, we had to do your liner.
Look at that.
So come over here. I want you to see it from this angle.
Oh my gosh.
Is this a lot of space?
Like so much space.
So much more space.
The height of this deck, we gotta have a 42-inch rail. If we're gonna put in a rail, we're gonna put a rail that's gonna match the length of this deck, and I mean length by life, and it's gotta look good. By sitting down, having glass panels, that just makes the difference. Look how you can see through and see the wall and see everything.
Yes.
You can see how much we had to tear up and how much we have to hold back. And the more you look at this, you say, look at armor stone. Like, you've got, what, $10,000 worth of armor stone here. Gives a nice look, gives another longevity of a wall, that which we really want, complements all the pressure treated.
Oh my gosh.
And then you have all new fencing around your property. You know, everything changes when you have a property of this level, from top to bottom. Even though all my retaining walls, 6x6s, are wonderful and never gonna move, they're just over 4 feet. What does that mean? I need to put a fence on it. The rules we need to follow, the things we have to do, isn't just about it looking good, it's about doing it right.
Wow. Oh my
Lock Ollie in.
gosh, look at this.
It's too bad we didn't actually complete this in the spring. It's almost winter, and at least you get to stare at it. You get to,
yeah.
From
You
your
know
living
what?
room,
We're
you can
going to
look.
enjoy it.
You can look through the brand new big
Yes.
window, and the windows were done because Dominic, we bring him in, and he's like, "Oh no, they gotta go. They gotta go." I mean, we think of the kids. Let's keep your house warm. Let's give you a window to look through to see this.
I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. I am so overwhelmed right now. I don't even know. There's no words I can say. There's just no words I can say. This is.
It's perfect.
It's our home now.
Well, you're back home.
You've made every inch of this backyard functional and safe and livable for my children to grow up in. It's unbelievable. My God, I have to hug you. It's. Is there words to even describe? I don't know. Not.
We would hire them in a minute.
You were stressed out at the beginning, and I get it, and it caused the Bell's palsy. And
Yeah.
this is the second time in the most recent I've heard of this happening to someone I know. And you're looking good right now, so
Thank
you're
you.
feeling better?
Yes. Now I feel like I can breathe again, and I can enjoy my house and enjoy.
Myself also.
Yeah. We're gonna have him back on weekends because he was always out here like a crazy man trying to, you know, do a little project here or fix something there. And now on the weekends when he's home from work, we're going to be able to have him back.
And here's just some of the guys that worked on your property.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Doesn't matter that it's November, we are out on our deck for the winter. We are going to enjoy that. Well, we might skip the pool, or maybe we'll just crank it up to 100.
Pool looks amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Everything.
Everyone get an apple and barrage Derek. Keep getting him!
For more information about this show, please visit hgtv.ca.